So you're thinking about moving to Idaho Falls, or maybe you're on the fence about moving to Idaho Falls. In this video, we're going to talk about 10 reasons why you absolutely should live or move to Idaho Falls. It could be exactly the place that you need to be. So without further ado, let's go. Number one, proximity. Proximity to all the wonderful things that anyone who enjoys the outdoors would love. So if you like the outdoors even just a little bit, this would be the place that you could really enjoy. We've got the Grand Tetons just a short drive away. We've got Yellowstone a short drive away. We also have world famous fishing, skiing, hiking, paddleboarding, lakes and hot springs all over. So close within a short distance or just a little bit longer of a drive, but I'm talking anywhere from 15 minutes to 2 hours away. You could be in any of those places, skiing, fishing, hiking, lakes, you name it. It is an outdoors paradise. Number two, cost of living. A lot of people are moving here from California, Oregon, even Utah, because the cost of living in Idaho is significantly lower than the surrounding states. If you're looking for a home that's a little bit more affordable, or groceries that are more affordable, or activities that are more affordable than those surrounding states, then this is a place for you. One of my favorite parts about the affordability here in Idaho is partly due to utilities being lower, and the reason why utilities are lower is because we have so many different ways of generating power. We've got the hydropower from the river, we've got wind power because it is windy here, and we also have nuclear power. And in fact, Arco is a town just a short drive away that was the first city in Idaho to have nuclear power. So some really cool things happening here in Idaho, and a lot of that is making the cost of living lower. Number three, culture. I wasn't sure exactly what to expect here. I wasn't sure if it would be like super country, and I was really concerned because I'm a city girl. I've lived in big cities, I visited big cities, I love the big city, and Idaho Falls is not a big city, and so I wasn't sure how the culture would be, but I've actually fallen in love with it, and that's because the culture here is all about giving and a sense of community. People really come together to help each other out. I see almost on the daily someone who loses a dog or a bunny or something, one of their pets, and they go on the Idaho Falls pages on Facebook, and the community comes together and they'll say, hey, I saw that dog over here, and they're contacting each other and helping each other. So the community often comes together for good causes, and they definitely have that sense of helping your neighbor out. So I love that. Number four, it's a small town. And some people might say that's a reason not to move here, but for us, coming from a busier, bigger city, it was feeling congested, and I get anxious when I'm in traffic and there's a lot of people, and I get impatient when I'm sitting in traffic for hours and hours. And so to me, being in a small town was a perk to being here, because there's not a lot of traffic compared to those bigger cities. There's not a lot of people compared to the bigger cities. And so you have more space to breathe. You have less pollution and less traffic. So that was a big pro for me. Number five, it's a great place to grow a business. My husband has a holistic health coaching business. I'm a real estate agent. Anyone can come in, bring their business that's already established, start a new business. Idaho makes it really easy for business owners to start up, and the community will come in and support those local businesses. There's a lot of eclectic businesses here, which I love, that you'll see at the farmers markets, or you'll see in the cute downtown area. There's a lot of mom and pop shops that are unique to this area that you wouldn't find anywhere else. There's also major corporations here like the INL, the International Laboratory. There's also Melaleuca. So there's several big corporations and mom and pop shops. So you have a variety of types of businesses. So if you have one of those, you'll fit right in. Number six, kind of goes in with the small town feel, but there's a lot of fun events that I grew up in a big city. So events in a big city are a little bit different. They're more crowded and they're on a larger scale, but the small town events are fun, and that includes the 4th of July parade, the rodeos that we have going on here. We also have fun events where we drop thousands thousands of little rubber ducks into the river for a good cause. Don't worry, we pick them back up, don't worry. We have these like fun, unique small town events, the state fair. We have the fireworks show that is huge on this. Apparently it's the biggest fireworks show on this side of the Mississippi. So there's big and small events where the community comes out, and again, that community feel is very present there. Number 7, this was a pro for me because I don't do well in the heat, but it's the weather. A lot of people don't move here because of the weather. It is windy and the winters can be long and there is snow, but in the summer, it rarely reaches 100 degrees. It is still, even in the hottest months where maybe it is 95 to 100 degrees, which again is not very common, it would only be 1 to 2 months, a couple weeks out of the year that it gets that high, it gets that hot, but in the mornings it remains cool. So I'm talking 50, maybe 60 degrees in the mornings all summer long. And that's really great for me, for someone who doesn't do well in the heat. It's also not humid. So if you don't love the humidity, Idaho is a great place to be because there is not very much humidity. It is a dry heat, which again, I appreciate. Number 8. Because it's windy, which I know a lot of people don't love because your hair often gets messed up and things are blowing around all the time. It is very windy. However, the wind means cleaner air. And if you're coming from a big city, you know what I'm talking about. Smog is a real thing. I'm talking that thick yellow gunk that just sits in the air that we're all breathing in. Yeah, we don't have that here in southeastern Idaho. So I love that because I lived in Utah before and the smog was really bad. And anytime it was a really thick, yellowy, smoggy day, my throat would get sore. And I knew it was because of all that gunk and pollution in the air. I've never had an issue here in Idaho Falls. In fact, I think I've been less sick here in Idaho Falls than I've ever been in other bigger cities that I've lived in, which is interesting. I'm just now thinking about that. Number 9, crime rate. If you're coming from bigger cities, your crime rate, I mean, it's often, or it's normal that you'll hear sirens and gunshots and you'll smell marijuana in the air and you'll see drug needles. I mean, that was often the case when I lived in Portland, Oregon. The drug problem was rampant and there were always cops, there were gunshots I've heard. I lived in Fresno, California, same thing, gunshots, drugs, gang issues. We don't have that here. I'm not to say that Idaho Falls is free of crime, because that's not true. There is crime everywhere, there's weirdos everywhere, there's mental health issues everywhere, but Idaho Falls is a significantly lower crime rate than some of those surrounding areas that people are moving here from. Number 10, last but not least, schools. There's a lot of different school options. And yes, there are colleges, universities here as well, but I'm talking about a big perk for me was how easy it is to homeschool your kids here. We have, it's a very lax rule, I guess, in Idaho homeschooling rules. The only thing that you have to do is to declare your intention to homeschool to the state. Other than that, you come up with a curriculum. You as a parent, you don't need to you don't have to have education to teach your kids. You are able to homeschool your kids as long as you'd like, and that is totally fine here. So the freedom here for homeschooling is really neat, which is something that resonated with me because I like to homeschool. There's also a lot of homeschool co-ops. So if you don't want to do it completely on your own, there's other parents who are teaching homeschool or specific subjects that you can rotate and go to activities together, etc. So there's a lot of different homeschooling options here, which I love. But there's also private schools, religious schools, charter schools, and the public school system is also really, really great. There's a lot of different opportunities here and a lot of great schools, a lot of great teachers. And so number 10 was just the school system in general, just the options and the flexibility. So if you have kids or you're thinking about having kids, the school system here is great and the options for schools is even better. Well, there you have it. Those are my 10 reasons why you should move to Idaho Falls. It really is a great town. It's not too small, it's not too big. It is just right. My name is Annika Wilder, and again, I'm a real estate agent here in the southeastern Idaho region. And so if you're looking to buy or sell, or you know someone who is, go ahead and give me a call, text, shoot me an email, and I'd love to help. Also, I put out a video every week, and so you can be up to date on the market, the housing, things to do, food, etc. So hit that subscribe button and that notification bell, and you'll be the first to know about all those things that I'll be posting. Have a great rest of your day or night or whatever. Okay, bye.